In just a few days, we're going to say the famous words of the Haggadah, which is also a Mishnah in Pesachim. B'chol dor v'dor chayiv odom liros es atzmoi ki'ilu hu yotzo miMitzrayim. In every generation, we are obligated to perceive as if we ourselves left Egypt. Such a strange obligation. We don't find this obligation any other time of the year. We don't find that on Tisha B'Av we're obligated to feel as if we were by the Churban Beis HaMikdash. We're not obligated on Sukkot to feel and imagine that we're sitting in the Ananei HaKavod. So why now on Pesach, Leil HaSeder, we are commanded an obligation to try and imagine that we ourselves left Mitzrayim? You know, my kids, and I'm sure many other children, love celebrating their parents' anniversary. After all, it's the day that they got married, and because of that, they were born. But what I always found interesting is, we never discussed and never even asked, what was on the menu by your wedding? What songs did they sing by the dancing? Those details don't seem to be important. The main thing is, you got married. So the same thing should be over here. Yes, of course it's important we left Egypt. Great! Because of that we're free. But why are the details so important? Why do we have to sit by the Haggadah for hours on Leil HaSeder, going through from the beginning to the end? Why are the details so important? So perhaps the answer is that we're living in times that so desperately need the truth. We've reached a time in history where the very term reality is up for debate. You can put on a headset today and get completely lost in virtual reality. The lines between what actually exists and what's a digital miracle are blurred. AI is all over the place. How do we even know what's real anymore? That's why Pesach, and specifically Leil HaSeder, is more crucial than ever before. When a person wants to relive an experience that's real, then the details make all the difference. I had the opportunity recently of meeting the newly released hostage, Eli Sharabi.
For 491 days, I held on to hope. I imagined a life we would rebuild. I dreamed of seeing my family again.
On his way back from America, after he spoke to the UN about his experiences, I asked him to share with me some details. It was fascinating. He started from the very beginning. He told me that on the first night in Gaza, inside that tunnel, he recited Kriya Shema for the very first time in his life. And it just poured out of him, detail after detail after detail of all his experiences. And when hearing that account, a person can think, what do I need to know the details for? You're saved. You're no longer a hostage. What's the difference of what happened while you were there? And the answer is exactly our point. And that's why Pesach is unique, that we have an obligation to liros es atzmoi ki'ilu hu yotze miMitzrayim, to imagine ourselves as if we left Mitzrayim, and therefore every detail that we expound on makes all the difference. Yes, it starts avodim hayinu, we originally were slaves, and as we recount all the amazing things that the Rabbi Shalom did for us in Mitzrayim, we start to get a real picture of what actually happened. It's real. As the Ramban famously says at the end of Parshas Poi, the miracles that the Rabbi Shalom did for us in Mitzrayim were not just for that generation, but for every single generation to remember them, to live them, and through that, connect more with our emunah and Hashem. The father-in-law of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Baditch of the Heilige Kedushas Levi was very upset when his son-in-law left his young wife and children in order to be able to study by his Rebbe, the Maggid of Mezrich. When he returned, he said to his son-in-law, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, tell us a chiddush that you learn in Mezrich. So Rabbi Levi Yitzchak turned to his father-in-law and he said, I learned that there's a Rabbeinu Shalom. His father-in-law couldn't believe it. He called over one of the maids, one of the women working in the house, and he said, tell me, who created the world? And immediately, without blinking an eye, she said, the Rabbeinu Shalom. He dismissed her. He turns to his son-in-law, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak. Everyone knows there's a Rabbeinu Shalom. Even the maid who works in the house, a simple yid. For that you had to leave your wife and young children for 3 months? The Heilige Baditcheva replied the following. She says that there is a creator. I know that there's a creator. Rabbi Sai, this Leil HaSeder, we have a unique opportunity for ourselves and for all future generations to be able to instill within ourselves the emunah, that real belief in the Rabbeinu Shalom, by recounting what actually happened, and through that, imagining that we ourselves left Mitzrayim. I'd like to wish everyone a freilich and kosher and yontif.